Hi folks, Lawrence Man here, your friendly freelance digital artist. Today I've gotten something into the studio that you were probably surprised I was even going to review, and that's a Wacom alternative. Yeah, so let's get down to business here. Here's a few shots of the upcoming unboxing and review. I've got a draw test coming up, and if you want to skip ahead to any of those, the time codes are in the description. Hope you enjoy this. First of all though, I want to tell you why I'm doing this unboxing, draw test, etc. So yeah, let's jump straight into that explanation. Hope you enjoy this. Have fun. Over the 2 or 3 short years that I've been on YouTube now, I've reviewed the Wacom Cintiq and the Dell Canvas and various other tablets and monitor tablets, and it's been absolutely great. A lot of the time something comes up again and again, and that is the topic of Wacom alternatives. I've never given these much of a shot. I've used Wacom now for over 20 years. I've used Wacom since the mid-90s, and yeah, I support them wholeheartedly. I know a lot about their technology, and I know they have the best pen technology. This isn't to say that I'm a fanboy by any means. I just want the best technology possible for artists. I'm a fairly unbiased guy, and if you watch my channel you recognise that about me. I was the guy who put out a video slamming the Dell Canvas, and then when they asked me to review it, I reviewed it and actually then realised it's actually a decent device and changed my tune. And because the issue of Wacom alternatives keeps coming up, I decided it was time to get one in the studio and review it. At first I saw this tablet and it looks identical to an Uji tablet already on the market. Now that's because this company was a distributor for Uji, thus they make an identical tablet. So it's not untried and untested. Normally I wouldn't be a fan of that, and I'll get around to why in a moment. But what made me talk to this company was the fact that in the comment section on their post I said that companies should be innovative, and that's the only way that we as artists benefit from their technology, and that's vice versa the only way that they as companies will grow. That's the only way that they get to make better technology which they get to charge for, and you know, it's the only way that they get to make bigger and better profits for themselves. Otherwise, more companies flooding the market with identical technology will just crash. It's a bit of a long conversation and I won't go too far into it, but needless to say that their answer actually impressed me. They said that they do want to get involved, they do want to come up with new and different tablets. This was just their first tablet to break into the market, and they are looking to actually come up with new and different tablets. They do want to be innovative, and they are looking for people to talk to come up with ideas. They are looking to work with artists. So yeah, they kind of caught my eye a bit. They asked if they could send me one of their tablets and asked me if I'd review it and let me know what I thought. And because you guys are always talking about the Wacom alternatives, which I normally dismiss because I know that the technology just isn't quite as good as Wacom's, and since I'm already using Wacom's, you know, why would I then go and use a Wacom alternative? I decided the only way I can be fair to you guys in a conversation is to actually try a Wacom alternative. So I'm going to give this a review. I'm going to try this out and let's see where this goes. Now, one thing I'd like to say straight off the bat is this conversation for me is not just about reviewing this product, but about seeing what could we do to this tablet to make it better. How could we innovate on this technology to make it different from a Wacom tablet? to make this company stand out from other Wacom alternatives, to give a company like this a fighting chance in the market, so that they could then go ahead and make a difference in the market. So this is the Pnboo PN2150. This is a 21.5 inch IPS screen. There's the screen protector that comes in the box with it, and that's quite good to get a free screen protector. There's the CD-ROM drivers and a little thank you card that comes with it as well. There's some instructions, they're all in English. It's quite well laid out with colour images as well, which I immediately thought was quite nice. Mystery box, I always like the mystery boxes, and immediately you can see the items are quite well packed in there. We'll go through them all one by one. Just want to show them that they were quite well packed in the box. So let's get the tablet out first of all. Immediately the first thing I noticed was it's very glossy. So here are the items. Fingerless glove to protect that very glossy screen, and you've got the USB cable. Now it's got that regular stand that comes with every Wacom alternative. There's a HDMI cable. First thing I noticed was it looks quite well designed for a Wacom alternative. It's got two charging cables for the pens there. There's the stand, which we'll talk about in a little while. There's a charging adapter and the cable for that. Another shot of the stand. Like I say, we'll get to that later, but I just wanted to show you the construction. So the pen, there's two in the box, which I thought was a little unusual, to be fair, but this is a rechargeable pen, so realistically the fact that you get two I thought was actually quite nice, because while you're charging this you can just go ahead and use the other pen if you've got that recharged already. Now this has got a hard nib, and that's quite a long and fine nib, so yeah, that's quite nice. The one thing I did think was this was a hard nib and you're using this on a hard glossy screen, so maybe I'd preferred a softer nib. Now this comes with a barrel tipped male to female port. That's quite good. It fits quite well. It doesn't go into the pen all the way, but it seems to fit. It's very solid. Didn't mind that at all. The pen was Wacom styled. It came with a lot of extra nibs, and these are hard nibs, so they're not really going to wear down unless you're the Incredible Hulk. Yeah, it was fine. It was perfectly acceptable, and the stylus was actually more comfortable than most. The pen holder, the pen pot, the pen stand, whatever you want to call it, was basic Wacom style. It came with more pen nibs inside. It came with the little nib remover. Yeah, I was perfectly happy with that. It seemed well enough made, and the pen nib remover was very generic. I've seen this 100 times before, but yeah, the pen stand was well enough made, and it has a rubberized bottom, so yeah, you could lay your pen down horizontally or stand it up in that. So here it is, and once you put it down on the table you notice the exact size of it, and also you can see the highly reflective gloss screen. Not a bad thing, you know, the Surface line has gloss screens itself. Personally, I'm not a fan. I like either the grip feel of the Wacom tablet you can see here, or the Dell Canvas you can see here. But a high gloss screen isn't a problem, you know, while you're working on it. So let's take a look. So here's the stand, and as you can see it has a nice high, almost vertical level, but it also goes down very horizontal as well. So let's take a look at that. On the back we've got this simple stand. It's built on, but with 1, 2, 3, 4 screws you can see that the stand can be taken off and a VESA mount can be adapted. Now, this stand is quite good. It's not as firm as I'd like, but I think once you're working on the tablet, that won't be an issue. It is maybe a little plasticky. As you can see, it's quite easy to use the stand on the back of this, just with the little clip around the back. Not a problem. It's fairly decently sized and easy to reach. The tablet itself isn't too thick. It's got a nice grip size to it. I would have liked some more bezel here at the side, so I've got somewhere to place my hands. If I've got a mini keyboard, I've got somewhere to stick that. There are buttons underneath, but I'd have liked hotkeys either built in or separately on a remote style device or dial or something else. But yeah, I mean, other than that, it's absolutely fine. Weight wise, it's actually incredibly light, and I think that's because, you know, just the size of this tablet. I will say it grips the desk well, nothing moves, seems to work fine. Personally, if this was me, I would take the stand off and attach this to an ergotron arm. That, in my mind, would make this tablet look and feel a lot better. The back of this is completely plastic. You can kind of feel that and hear that, but you're barely going to be around here, so don't worry about it. There is, however, on the bottom, all of your connections. Now, tipping it upside down, you can see all of the cable connections are underneath, and that's not a problem in any way. I think that, you know, with a little bit of cable tidying, some clamping cables to the sides, you're only going to be using a couple of these anyway. The power, the USB, and the either the HDMI, the VGA port, or standard adapter. And that's fine. I think one of those, obviously, I'd probably go for the HDMI. I'd probably, you know, use just those three cables right there next to each other, which means I can probably cable tie them to the back of this leg. And that makes it a lot neater and simpler, and I don't have to worry about any cables coming loose or getting knocked by the feet. There is a screen protector, and I'm going to have to use it to make sure that my screen stays clean at all times. You will have to constantly clean this screen because it is gloss and attracts quite a few fingerprints. You will also have to go online and download the latest drivers for this. So without any further ado, let's get into the draw test. First thing you're going to notice is there's no rotation or tilt on this pen, and you've got hard nib drawing on a hard gloss surface. I think that might put the professionals off. This is definitely a little more for the hobby artist and the non-professional artist out there. The screen resolution is 1920 by 1080. The brightness is 250 nits, meaning this isn't the brightest screen on the market. The RGB, definitely not 100%, don't know the specs on that. It's not bad. I did notice, and you can see it up there in the top right hand corner, that this is an LED screen, so you can see some slight phasing up there. You see that more on camera than you do with your bare eyes, of course. The colours did seem a bit washed out as well. Obviously this can be calibrated. I did do a slight tuning, but as the weeks go by you can obviously refine that. You can see in the background on my Dell laptop screen, you can see the difference in the contrast. I'm using a Canon M6. You can just see the contrast just needs slightly tweaking. It's not too bad, and you'll be able to see the finished illustration at the end. It's not that bad, especially if you're not a pro. The price difference between this and a Cintiq feel about right. Obviously for the same money you could go and get yourself something like an Intuos Pro. It's just up to you whether you really need the monitor or whether you want the pen tilt and rotation. Like I say, that's completely up to you, and I've done other videos about things like that. As for parallax, well, it's probably about 2mm, which is not so bad, but it's not so great, and definitely definitely something we're moving away from now in terms of drawing tablet standards. This didn't perform so badly, but it didn't blow me away. The glossy screen was probably something that I couldn't move past. The screen protector, even though I haven't used it yet, I hate screen protectors in general because I can never put them on without getting a bubble. The cables coming out of the bottom was annoying, and it got in the way if I ever wanted to lay this down, and it did feel a little more plasticky than I'd have liked. You know, a few of those elements substituted for metals rather than plastics would have been absolutely great. Maybe once Pnboo really get into the swing of creating their own drawing tablets with some innovative ideas, maybe stop cutting back on certain things, they're really going to be able to come up with some great drawing tablets. I was impressed by this, but there are several places where corners have been cut that I think slight upgrades, and it would have been impressive. And I think, you know, you can do that on the next model, where you really make this your own and make it different from the UG version. If you really want to make it stand out, I've never had a drawing tablet with a webcam built in. Obviously I'd want it to be something I could swivel, for example, because at the moment I have to put a webcam on top of my Wacom, but I'd want it to be decent quality. I'd want it to be like, say, 4K. So when I'm doing a drawing on it and I'm screen capturing it, I can also screen capture myself doing the drawing. That might be nice. So I can talk to you guys while I'm doing it. But like I say, I'd want it to be decent quality. I'd either want it to be 4K or 1080p, but really good resolution. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you'd want to see that would make this different from what anybody else has got. You know, like I say, maybe not just the USB ports that Wacom already has. Let's try not to make this a carbon copy of somebody else's drawing tablet. And that for me is the difference to the Wacom alternatives out there. I don't want a cheaper version of somebody else's tablet. While that's great for the people who want a Wacom Cintiq but can't afford one, I want to flood the market, so to speak, with innovative tablets that force other companies not just to drive their prices down, but to improve their own tablets with better ideas, with more innovative technology that improves our artwork, that makes us better artists, illustrators, designers, creatives, photographers, and everything. I want them to make us better, because the only way you get better is by trying. And the better technology you have, the easier that gets. And a lot of why I do what I do, by talking to these companies, working with them, the software and hardware companies, the reason I do that is because I'm trying to make better art. And I do a lot of that. And I don't work with companies who just want to get by and make cheaper stuff. I aim to work with companies that make the best stuff possible, that want to innovate. So let me know your thoughts below. Remember to like, comment and subscribe, because it does help me, especially the commenting, and especially when you share videos. And I will see you later. Well, thanks for watching. Be sure to comment, like, and even subscribe to my channel, LAWRENCEcanDRAW. And if you really did like what you saw here, you can see more of it on my website, lawrenceman.co.uk. I'll see you next time.